Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. A bit late for that one, but Happy New Year. Hope everyone is well. Welcome back to the live stream. So it's the first of the month, and normally this is done on a Monday, but obviously it was New Year on the Monday. So, and I wasn't here, I was in Valencia, and yeah, roaming's not great on Vodafone, just put it out there. But actually Vodafone's better in Spain than it is in the UK, in some regions anyway. So welcome everyone. Happy New Year to everybody. So there's been some chat already, as you can see, in the chat box to see if we can get the right one up, because, oh, is there two? Oh my word, there's two. Because accidentally shall we say, killed the wrong one. Let's get that one better in there. There we go. So hopefully if I can get rid of one of these, it won't be the worst thing in the world. Eeny, meeny, miny. It's still on. So 50-50 worked. There you go. Right, so it's going to be Mizuno PRO 241, 243, 245 update. Kyle's in the house. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Mac. Hello, Ted. Hope you are well. Niels, you've been in here for a little while, so yep, we've had a very small chat already. Poor Ted said he's hungover. Yes. So Adrian's in the house, Perry's, Don, who else we got? Mike, we got Robert's in the house. Who else we got at the top here? Anyone else? Just chit chat. So, guys, I'm still alive. Yes, Carl, you were saying about you've been busy Moroccoing, or Monacoing. I can't remember which one it was. Monaco. Phil's in the house. Hello, Phil. Hope you're well. We're having a chat today about these things. The light obviously makes it look much shinier than it actually is. This is not as shiny as it looks on camera. It's shiny, but it's, and everyone knows what my shininess levels are like. I like shiny. So let's get back, let's get to the nitty gritty. This is the 241. This is the one that I've been waiting for. And I would say it's marginally shinier than 245. Let's cut to the chase straight away. Do I like it? I like the aesthetics from the point of view of the shape. I do. It looks like an MP5. Let's not mess around. It does look like an MP5. I should have really got my MP5 out ready, but effectively, guys, you know what an MP5 looks like, and yes, it looks very, very similar to an MP5, but it's not double chromed, which is a shame. I'm not quite getting used to it yet. I picked them up late yesterday. I flew in yesterday. So they, as you can see, are fitting heads. These are not media samples. The one good thing about doing that, guys, is that I've got some content to do. Monday 2 p.m. I think is the embargo, so I'm a busy bee. I've already captured information for certain parts of information for 245, the hollow bodied one that's, well, I would say out of all of them had the most adjustments to it. Now I've got a technical presentation of which I will not go through every single thing because it would bore the pants off people. Not really, unless you really want to see it. But I'm going to pop this into the Project X 6.0 shaft so I can do every single one of these heads with the same shaft to keep every single person on the planet happy. I don't really care about what shaft I have, and for the guys that have followed me for quite some time understand exactly why. Right, so Don says, let's make sure I'm not losing anyone here. Mark M778 says, looking forward to announcement of the Pro series in the US, 8th, 2 p.m. UK time, so 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever, different part, UK, yeah, wherever you are in the US. We're looking at about then, and that's going to be all about these things. Now, should I show them? Technically, no. The European embargo, again, is not until Monday at 2 p.m. But I don't think I'm breaking any rules, really, when every single person on the planet has seen these things from Asia. And of course, as soon as they released back in whenever last year, everyone had a rush to learn Japanese because it was all on the Japanese websites, what they look like and how much technology they've got in them and all that. There's nothing really about the Mizuno PRO that we can't find out with some fun Google searching. But I'm gonna show them to you on live stream. This is obviously subscribers, open to my subscribers and also members, so welcome to all the members. So on the chat, which you can see by the side of me, anyone in grey is a non-member, a subscriber possibly, but a non-member, and all the ones with the funny colours are members. And we have a weekly live stream where we talk about this kind of stuff, members only, go into a bit more detail about certain things. And yeah, if you want to be a member, pop on my homepage next to my subscribe button, there's a join button, have a little look on there, and yeah, you can just peruse and see if you want to become a member or not. So Mark M778, fly high on the 8th as well. Yes, it is. It's a black variety as the old one, and I've got the old one over here. Now forgive the fact that I haven't tucked myself in. I'm having a busy day and I've got very hot because I've been hitting lots of shots. So there you go, we'll put out there. Drew says, gonna hit these today or not yet? No, I'm not allowed to do any hitting. So the embargo obviously is on Monday the 8th. I am skirting the line by me showing you these and describing certain things inside them. There is no, there is information out there already. If you really want to go look on Google, it's out there. So I'm not putting anything on this necessarily on the screen that you won't have already known. Now, I may or may not put something on the screen. I'm not quite sure. It all Golf Teacher 67. This is awesome. I'm joining. Well, thank you very much. But yeah, it's skirting the line. Right. So the fly high, as you can see, not tucked in. It doesn't matter. So I've got my Mizuno Pro samples, 2.2. in the bag. There you go. We'll get it in the camera. So there you go. There is the old one. When I say old, okay, it looks ridiculously shiny, and yes, because I, generally speaking, keep all of my equipment as best I can do in a little bit of an OCD way. Because again, golf equipment, generally speaking, it looks really nice when you buy it, and of course it gets absolutely muddied, scratched, and wrecked when you play. But generally speaking, the testing that I do is always done in controlled conditions, because I like to be able to control conditions and not let conditions which I can't control the result, if that makes sense. So lie angle, Min Lee, hello Min. Right, so lie angle standard 61.5 degrees on a 7-iron of the Mizuno Pros. What this one is, I don't know. I'd have to look at the specification on this one, but again, this is the old one. Say the old one. It is the old one. Rocket ship this thing was. Wow my zuz. But yes, there is a new one coming. It is slightly improved over the old one. All of these are slightly improved over the old. Did you enjoy your chat, your live chat with Chris? I loved my little, and poor old Dave. Dave's the marketing guru for Mizuno. Very up there when it comes to the marketing side. He was referee when it comes to Chris and I. It was very, like, when you got me for my technical side, and then Chris was in an engineering background, and he's just like a Mizuno stick of rock. He is. If you were to cut Chris in half, he would say Mizuno through him. So him and I could go on for ages about the technical aspects of center of gravity placements and how head flexing and all stuff like that. Because obviously that's how I do things. I measure stuff and tell you guys how it actually performs. Now, obviously Chris will say everything good about Mizuno because, well, he's employed by Mizuno for one thing. So of course he's going to say everything that's good. I am on a different side of things. Of course, I have my own preference, what I like to wear and stuff. However, I'm not paid by Mizuno, so I can do what the heck I want. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not so good, I will say. Now, I would already say this, and I'm not quoting any kind of numbers yet. So anyone from Mizuno, because this is an open live stream which anyone can watch. If anyone from Mizuno is watching, I am not going to be posting any performance data whatsoever. I am just going to say something. The same thing is this. I've already done some data sets over this, the 2, 4, 5, yeah? That is probably as shiny as you'll ever see. That looks chrome, it's not chrome. Yeah, if I can, no, I can't really get it. It's just the light that I've got. It's just really gonna make that look a lot chromier than it actually is. It's not chrome, it's matte chrome, brush chrome, whatever you want to call it. It's a shame because it would look lovely if it was chrome. I will have to see if I can get the old girls polished when I get my media samples through. Nobody has got media samples. The chances are, guys, if you are a Mizuno fan and you want information about the Mizuno stuff, it's going to be an interesting one, because my channel might be the only one who has a independent review. Mizuno themselves will have stuff from America and a certain amount of content that they're going to release on the 8th, which is Monday at 2 p.m. UK time. But there's not going to be anything from the YouTubers. Why? There was a slight, shall we say, logistical mess up when it comes to the samples. So no one, including me, has got no samples. No one has got no samples. That actually means that someone's got samples. Double negatives. Nobody's got any samples. There you go. So that means I have had to use contacts to try and get hold of these things. Fitting heads. These are the DNA fitting heads. The good thing about using these for the review, and what I mean by the review, I've got 4 to do. I've got the main one that will come on Monday, and that will be welcome to the Mizuno Pro range, 241, 243, 245. This is what they are. This is how they look like. This is how they feel. These are the golfers which are going to suit these. If you're looking for the full-on forgiveness review, which I will normally do one every single in-depth, that will be the days after. So the next day will possibly be the 245. That one there, that's the one that people's going to have most attention towards. Then I will have the 243, which is one of these little kids, as you can see. And then finally, the ones that will have about 12 watches, the 241. So 245 first, 243 next, and 241 after that. So there you go. That is the plan of attack. New fairways on the 8th, Don. Yes, you are right. They are maxing, but they're not coming on the 8th. They're coming on the 20th. Yeah, 20th, something like that. I'll have a look at the embargo. I haven't got my media samples yet, so I don't know. I do know, but yeah. Right, so Drew says, do you think the blade is gonna be more forgiving? For some reason it looks thicker from the back and maybe higher CG. You did a video on 221 being pretty forgiving for a blade considering blades 2024. Yes. Is it gonna be any different? Is it gonna be more forgiving? No. Actually, it's got potential to be less forgiving. And so I actually see Mizuno are moving around a little bit in the 2.4 series. Now, there's going to be a lot of, I don't know what people are going to say. There's going to be so much stuff out there that people are going to be talking about when it comes to these things. I'm going to be moved by the data. So I will have my own personal thoughts. I look at this, and if you look at that, right? That is a blade. And effectively that blade is like an MP5. An MP5 has got the meat straight behind the middle and then blooming not a lot around the other parts. The MP20 was okay. MP18 went full on across. So like a slab of metal across, like TN87 was it built on? Something like that. Anyway, all across. And then the MP20 went, so it slanted off slightly at the toe. Then 221 come with a little bit more slant on the toe and a little bit off the heel. And now they're moving again towards the MP5, which the MP5 is basically that, isn't it? It's like a V in the middle, and that is what you're going to get, which it does mean potentially you're going to get a much more solid feel from the middle. But if you start deviating around the face, especially horizontally, heel toe, you might have a little bit of a fun time with front or north-south front back dispersion. I'm not saying it's true, it's just so from the physics of looking at it, and the physics would suggest that if you put more mass in the middle and less mass around the outside, without going crazy, the center of gravity of the head gets closer to the shaft axis center of gravity, which means effectively you make the head less stable, which has got more propensity then to twist, etc., when you hit it away from that middle. You could see that Chris and I could talk for too long. But there you go. Let's go make sure I'm not missing anyone. Are you allowed to tell us? Get it on the buffer wheel, says Perry. I really want to get them on a bus. So as soon as I get my media samples will be for the comparisons between 221, 241, 243, 223, and 225, 245. There you go. I'll be using them for the comparisons, because the comparisons can come after, and as yet I still don't know when the media samples are going to arrive. So I'm having to use my contacts to get hold of fitting heads. Good news with the fitting heads, it means I can obviously use the same shaft for every single one, so no one will complain about the shaft. With these guys, I'm not quite sure necessarily what the speed of these are going to be for my reviews. Normally, I will try, as time goes on, I'm tailoring my reviews more so where the speed consensus is of how fast I should be swinging for the golf club in question. Okay, everyone swings at different speeds, so it's very, very difficult to turn around and say, right, well, only golfers that swing at 74 miles an hour can use these golf clubs. No, everyone can. It's just that I'm trying to keep as many people as I possibly can happy, which, again, when you're trying to keep everybody happy, the only thing you're going to be succeeding in is not keeping everybody happy. Right. So, Carl, did you enjoy your live chat with Chris? I did, yes. As a 225 guy, I look forward to watching this video over from the start. I tell you what, I will say this, and without, I had a cold about, God, how long ago? 6 weeks ago, a month ago, however long. It's still not as yet completely gone. I've done the 245 already. Yeah, when it comes to forgiveness stuff, I've been busy hitting it today a lot of times, and I will say this, promising. The 225 was amazingly good in its time. When I say its time, it's 2 years old. But the problem you had, I-525 come along, and it was exceptionally good heel toe. Still is exceptionally good heel toe. The new P790 come along, with its increase in tungsten, etc. And it is really very, very good. And so the 225 is getting a little bit long in the tooth when you compare it to the modern day stuff. Not of its time, but it was one of the best of its time. But you put it to now, and effectively with the increase of tungsten effectively being used, I mean, that's what it is. We are talking about multi-material in the 245. It's a hollow bodied multi-material head, and it is designed to try and help people as much as possible. So you are going to have the biggest gap in difference where technology is input. So from the blade, where what can you do really with the blade? You can change its aesthetics and change its CG position to try and help against strike and stuff like that. Of course you can do. You can get the 243 and make micro slots bigger and stuff like that. Yes, you can. But there's a certain thing you can do with blades, but as you go up in the size, especially, you can have a bit more free will and free reign to do some tweaky. The 245 currently, I am quite excited about. It is very, very forgiving. They've got 47 grams now, nearly 50 grams of tungsten in the 245, up from its 28 or 30. So a considerable upgrade. It's lower in the head. It's still not touching the sole, so the sole, believe it or not, can flex during impact. The reason why they don't have it on the sole directly, obviously for center of gravity placement, it'd be brilliant if it was right on the sole, as in inside, but as low as you possibly can do. But the problem by actually physically touching the sole, is that then it stops the sole from flexing and giving you an extra little bit of help, especially when you hit it low on the face. So it's still floating, but it's very, very close at the sole. Right, let's catch up. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Ian, hello Ian. Hi Jay. First of these I've caught for ages. Is there much difference in size between 223, 243, 225, 245? Yes, okay. Yes, there is and no, there isn't. Mizuno are saying that there is a distinct size. We've gone smaller. Let me get this through people's minds. It's marginal. It is marginal. Let's see if I can do something here. And again, I'm not doing this. Now, this is kind of skirting the rules a little bit. And so I apologize to Mizuno if I shouldn't, and I shouldn't show this. However, I don't necessarily, they've said it's smaller, and I don't necessarily think I'm going to get in too much trouble by actually saying. I've just got to try and work out where I've put it now. Will you be getting the Masters edition of the 241 in green? No, I won't. I don't want them. I might get them. I tell you what, I might actually get the Masters bag. I'm interested more in the Masters bag, the tour bag, than I am the actual golf clubs. The copper ones, I've got some copper MP20s over there in my little display that I've got, because they were lovely. I did get a set of those, yes, because they were just lovely. They really were. I'm not into the green. Like, no different, I didn't get any set of the blue 221s because I'm not really into the blue. Window capture, is it that one? Or is it right? There we go. Right. Okay. So for the people, ready? This is the 243. We're talking about 243. There you go. That is a head length difference. The difference between, say, a 7-iron is 77.7 millimeters down to 76.5. We're talking 2 millimeters, possibly not 1 and a bit. Yeah, so it's not huge, guys. Yeah, so I won't go into everything because obviously the whole idea is not to show everything. I mean, that doesn't show anything really from a point of view of how well. It just goes to show that Mizuno have said themselves that the new series have got slightly smaller. Have they? Yes. Have they got massively smaller? No. Remember, guys, there are still blades out on the market which are still smaller than a 241. This 241 I've got here, yeah, is not a very big golf club. Yeah, not very big. You compare that to a Cobra MB. Cobra MB is, looking wise, smaller. If you go to some of the what's it called brands, direct-to-consumer brands, some of them are smaller. So I know there was a certain amount of kickback, especially on the forums, about, oh, why did Mizuno have to go small again? They're not. It's not like they're going, okay, we're now cutting the head length of a 7-iron down to 70 millimeters. It's not. It's still going to be of a certain size. It's just certain 1.5 millimeters smaller. Yeah. Right, let's go have a quick, make sure I don't miss on anything here. I'm trying to scroll up, but it's not allowing me, as you can see by the shaky screen. Don says, so a mixed 2-4s, pitching wedge 9-iron, 8-iron, 2-4-1, 8-iron, 7-iron, 2-4-3, and 6 and 5 and 2-4, mix and match, possibly, but the lofts are going to be interesting because obviously you're running a 1 club gap between 2-4-1 and 2-4-5, as in when I say that. 7-iron, let's say, for a 34 degree 241, a 30 degree 245 7-iron. So there, and 6-iron on the 241 is 30 degrees. So there's your 1 club gap, 7 for 7, but it's a 7 to 6. So you're either going to have to do some very interesting bendy strong and bendy weak to marry the two, or you're going to have to double up. And what I mean by double up, you're going to have 2 of the same golf clubs, like 2 7-irons or something like that, so you can. And just make the double up one 1/2 inch longer. I've discussed that before, but I mean, it's definitely doable because I've done it plenty of times on 221, 223, 225, especially on the 221, 225, because obviously they look so blooming similar. And now, even it's a case you're going to be struggling to try and tell these apart. You can tell them apart because obviously one is slightly bigger than the other, and one has got slightly more aggressive round. So this one here, as you can see, slightly thinner soles, etc. That's probably not a great example. There's that one there. There we go. So you can see slightly difference in sole thickness. Yep. Top line slightly thicker in the 245, yes, but we're not talking massively. And look, they're the main things. They look very, very similar. So, bonk. Possible. Good. Bailey, hello Bailey. Is the 243 significantly smaller than the 223? I've just said that. Hard to go away from my 21 T100s, but might consider 241, 243 blend or a set of 243s. 243, have it in my hands here. Is it considerably smaller? No. Is it smaller? Yes, it is. I've got my I've got my 223 media samples over there, and effectively I will just whack this into a shaft and put them up. together. And so that's what I will do. When I get my media samples through, I think I've got 5, 7 and 9 coming, and I will put them up against when I do the compare between 223, 243. I'll do the, yeah. Guys, we are talking about it's a model. I want to manage people's expectations here, because when obviously the hype comes from a new Mizuno launch, or no different to a new TaylorMade launch or a Callaway launch or something like that, people can get in their heads a little bit that these things are going to go to the moon. And what we are talking about is an incremental change. If you already have 223, and I wouldn't necessarily throw them away and get, I don't throw them away, but you obviously sell them on, but I wouldn't be jumping out there to instantly get 243. The 243 is going to have benefits over 223 because of the micro slot inside. The micro slot inside has changed. Now again, this bit that I'm going to put up on the screen, I have seen on on Japanese, if I can find it, I have seen it, and so if I can say I've seen it, which I have done, I can show it, because this has been on a Japanese website. So I am not going to get in trouble here by putting this out here. As you can see there, guys, you've got a flowed micro slot from 8 iron with no slot to a 6-7 to 4 and 5. You can see the 6 and the 7 have got a smaller slot, and the 4 and 5 is a bigger, wider slot. The wider and longer slot in the 4 and 5 is to help, obviously, with the increased launch and faster ball speeds, etc. That is obviously to promote a higher flight and increased carry. Now, generally speaking, guys, remember your carry in the longer irons is always going to be the one that suffers through the issue with speed. The slower you are, the harder it is to launch those longer irons. So if you're someone who really likes the longer irons, then something like that is going to help. Okay. Even with the help of the micro slot and the redesigned micro slot, it will be more beneficial than 223. Absolutely it will. How much will it? Marginally. We are not talking something which is going to be hitting 223, hit 243, and you stand there gobsmacked. Flip my sticks. What is going on? It's not going to be like a hybrid. It's not just going to launch off at a, what the heck happened there? It is going to be a small amount, but small thing. So again, if you're running 223s, would I jump out and get 243s? No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest. No. The difference is going to be so. It's the justification of money. If you had no money justification worries whatsoever, and you've just got money burning a hole in your pocket, and you want the best that you can get, well then get them, absolutely, because there will be benefits over the 223. No different to the 245. Will absolutely be. Again, I've done my certain amount of testing with 245 at the moment, and I can already tell you there is a difference between 225 and 245, the new one. So that one, yes. But again, if you've got 225s, I wouldn't be selling them on eBay and jumping out and buying these 245s straight away. Absolutely, test them. But depending on what your justification is, money against performance, that's individual to everybody. You'll have to make that decision for yourself. Right, let's make sure I don't miss any of these. Drew says, when it comes to a combo set, I'm considering as a 14 handicap going 4-7 and 245. Who uses a 4 iron nowadays? 4 iron and a 245. Is it something like 21.5 degrees? In 245, then 241 and 8 to pitching, which is good combo. Yes, but or go 8 iron in 245 as well. Depends. 8 iron, you've got plenty of loft. So if you've got missed strikes happening, which of course a 14 handicapper or any handicapper golf, doesn't matter if you're a teaching pro, everyone miss strike stuff. Having the more forgiving head will always make the difference. It will always be more helpful. However, there's a point of where loft is your biggest friend. And as soon as you start going 8 iron, you could potentially, I would say, if you're going to do the transition, the problem you're going to have is lofting. So I did a lot of sets when I was custom fitting and coaching full time. I'd done a lot of sets going 221, 225 blend, and they stopped at 7 iron, and they had 2 7 irons. The 225 7 iron was ½ inch longer and no loft adjusted, because of the standard loft adjustments are different between 221 and 225, no different to the 241 and the 245. As soon as you get to a 7-iron, they are like for like from a 1 up. So like a 6-iron is the same as a 7 in a 245. And so by just adding half an inch to the 245 or 225's 7-iron, it acts as like the 6-iron 241 and had the same loft as this 6-iron 241 or 221. It just had the technology of the 245, which helped increase launch, a bit springier face, because obviously miss strikes happen more as shaft increases, and having the more of a forgiving very thickness Cortec face is beneficial. It's up to you, but there are a multitude of ways you can do it. I would always say if you're going for performance, always go for the performance. In that case, go 8-iron and the 245 as well. But there's a lot of loft on an 8-iron. The difference between what the margins are with an 8-iron is smaller than the 7, and the 9 is even smaller than the 8, and the pitching wedge is even smaller than that. And of course, you get to a point of where effectively doesn't matter what technology you've got. It's like the classic wedges idea. When you're hitting a 58-degree wedge and people go on about the fact that I can't play bladed wedges, and then you get the game improvement wedges, the cavity back wedges. Well, actually, how the technology is working is actually helping you vertically. It's not helping you forward, because the loft is past 45 degrees. So it gets to a point where technology, when you've got like a 7-iron with 34 degrees or 30 degrees and something like that, and then the face is looking forward, and all the technology is helping that golf ball to stay straight left and right. But as soon as you start putting the loft up like this, well, that's not really it's not helping at all. It just doesn't really work. But there you go. Bailey says, is a 243 significantly smaller than 223? I've just done that one. Don says, swing speed 79 to 83 miles an hour, please. It would be pointless, Don, I'll be honest, when it comes to that, because with these are now starting to change a little bit. I always had, obviously, these blades are generally speaking going to be for players of faster swing speed. So there's no point really me doing these at 79 miles an hour or whatever, because it's going to alienate the vast majority of people which are going to be using these. So I will have to do these faster. When you're looking at even 245 now, 245 is now changing. I used to call this the blending iron with the forged. I used to say that these are the blending irons. You could call the bridging iron, sorry. You can actually quite easily have a set of these and the forged in one. The thing is now, the lofts have not changed. However, the technology and also the design of their heads, etc., because they're getting smaller, there is now a bit more of a split between the Pro and the JPX. And so, yes, you can bridge them, but it's a little bit where you could quite easily, it's not too much of a jump going from JPX 923 forged and then into a 225, because the 225 was basically a very, very similar size. The forged fractionally smaller, but very, very similar size. The technology is such, but now with 245, it gets a bit smaller. It's now starting to become its own thing. And so the blurring of the bridge is now starting to separate a bit. And so you either am becoming more of a Pro player or a JPX player. So I'll probably run the at mid 80s to try and keep as many people happy as I possibly can do, because of the separation starting to become now on the Mizuno Pro. So we've got new Mizuno golf balls on the 8th. No, don't believe so. These new Mizuno golf balls that we've had for a year now. They're not new, I suppose, if they're old, because they've been here for you kind of get the idea. Yep, they are around, and they will stay around. They're a blooming good ball. They are Mizuno's best ball they've ever made, and if truth be told, the tour, the standard tour, works very, very similar in spin profile and flight dynamics and everything else to in between a left dash and a Pro V1. And then the X very much so kind of marries the flight characteristics of a V1X. effectively copied it. I mean, yeah, they haven't copied it because, of course, they've done 99 prototypes and stuff like that. But again, let's be honest, if you're going to do something like make a golf ball, why would you make it? They tried it the last time. So I've got some old golf balls, they're still new, but the old type golf ball. Now, there is nothing wrong with the old type golf ball, especially for senior golfers. The old golf ball, or the old design golf ball, spins more. And for a senior golfer, when you has spin oriented or swing orientated speed-wise spin issues, having a golf ball which spins more can be an absolute godsend. It can give them more distance and more control overnight. So the old ball from Mizuno, no different to the Kirkland ball, which is a very spinny golf ball, is actually a really good thing in the right person's hands. You put that into a higher swing speed player, and of course when the My Golf Spy do all their testing and stuff, generally speaking we're talking about higher swing speed testing and all that lot, then the old golf ball did rubbish. And so, because again it wasn't tested at the speed that it really needs to be tested for the type of people that would really benefit from that. So Mizuno obviously have gone for the same thing that Titleist has been doing for years, and basically just pumping the Pro V and Pro V1 X out and doing top in the charts, because obviously they're focusing their ball and they're focusing the performance of their ball based on what most testers will test with and test at speed-wise, etc. And of course, there you go. Eric says more tungsten at the bottom. Yes, more miss-hit penalty for striking above the centre of gravity on the face. No, not necessarily. You might have a slight spin reduction, definitely, if you can hit high in the face. However, the biggest penalty hitting above the centre of gravity is not the issue of spin reduction through gear effect, because on an iron, well, you got a certain amount of it depending on what the iron you get. But the biggest penalty above all, to hit above the centre of gravity as a miss hit, you've got to be connecting with the floor first. If the ball's on the floor and you have to hit high on the face, you've either got to be physically de-lofting the head like so ridiculously, which you won't, but you're going to be hitting the ground first. That's your biggest penalty, nothing to do with hitting above the centre of gravity. You get away with it with hybrid, but different golf. But yeah. Have the JPX245s and have the JP245, JPX2, yeah, and promising is a great descriptor. Sorry, Albert, I'm not quite getting that one. Probably my fault rather than yours, but if you re-rate that one, I will happily read it out. Carl says, swing speed 135 miles an hour, please. Yeah, I'll get down the gym. I'll be like, 135 miles an hour. Don't think I've ever seen anyone swing a 7-iron at 135 miles an hour. YTD. And for the people in grey who don't know what YTD is, YTD among the members stands for YouTube drink, because I talk a lot. Well, of course I would do. If I stand here and, well, not stand, if I stood, I mean, like, I'm very short. I sit here in silence. I don't know what you guys will be listening to. Silence, I guess. So yeah, I need every so often having a YTD. So, Mr. Mumble, hello Mr. Mumble, hope you're well. Will we be getting the Mars edition of the Glue for One in green? No. I haven't put in for them, I don't really like them. I'm not someone in for the special ed stuff. With the exception of the copper-headed MP20, the copper-headed MP20 were just beautiful, and I've got a set in my display case because the copper-headed ones were just lovely. Neil says, no, hang on, we're not again with Don, we missed on Don. Don says, golf clubs are there to be used, not put in a case. I beg to differ. Neil says, it is being used for being displayed. Yes, I will agree. I absolutely do agree. I have a thing about, I love equipment, I love golf, and so I don't see necessarily the point in hiding stuff away. I like necessarily displaying it. That's why I have all my golf clubs. It doesn't matter what manufacturer they're from, they're all out around. Now, sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't, depending on what the camera angles, etc. is. But I have got everything around. Too much, to be honest. But yeah, I have got enough stuff. Hello, Dylan. I hope you're well. I noticed the Mizuno logo is black compared to previous images, which I'm so happy with. Do you know why? No. Aesthetics. But bear in mind, these are the fitting heads. I will not know until I get... Hang on. Bear with. Is there anything here that shows who it goes to? Yes, on this side. So, yeah, just checking. I don't necessarily want to put... So this is the box of wonder. Anyone who'd like to know the box of wonder, this is the box of wonder. So let's go for what we got. So this, you've already seen, is the 243 standard head. So what do you see different? I am 2 degrees upright. I'm 63.5 degrees from my 7 iron of a standard length. So I have the 2 up heads. Now, again, what color they'll be, I will let everybody know as soon as I get my media samples. We won't know. Don says, my Mura MC 502s are small. I like a challenge. Nothing wrong with small heads. I mean, I've got, where is it around here? The Cobra MB. Where are you, Cobra MB? You stick out like a sore blooming thumb, you do. Where are you? You've got to be here, because, yeah, it is. It's, oh, I've messed up it. Now I've messed up my display of all golf clubs now. When I say display of all golf clubs, they've got so many golf clubs in there, I've got to stick them together. If not, they all get messed up and none of them go in. So there's the Cobra MB, right? And I will not lie, as I never do. I don't like it because I'm too stupid to have to remember what I've said. Yeah, that's the 241. It is the 241. That's the 241. Guys, the 241 is smaller than 221. Or the whole things are smaller. All the Mizuno Pro are slightly smaller. Some people on the forums are whinging, oh, Mizuno, why are you making golf clubs small? We need we're not all tour players and stuff like that. There are golf clubs, and this is just an example. There are golf clubs already which are even smaller than the new smaller stuff. So yeah, don't stress. Honestly, guys, it's not worth stressing. The Cobra MB, by the way, is just lovely. Right, so Golf Addict, Happy New Year's all. Happy New Year, hope you're well, Golf Addict. Have you got any more stuff yet? Hi all, as everyone, IJ, cheers. Oh, no, it's nice to have you back. Golf teacher, compare the MP80 MMC versus the 243. That'd be a very interesting test. In my box of lovelies, I have got MP18 stuff, although I think it is 6 iron. Some remind me when the DNA moved from 6 iron to 7 iron. I cannot remember if it was MP18 or if it was MP20, I can't remember. But either way, I have got it. I'm not quite sure how well it will be lofted and stuff like that, obviously to get a like for liker. But the MMC will be more forgiving off the toe. It will be less forgiving off the heel because of that lump tungsten insert. Excuse me, YouTube Windy Pops. Perry Mason says, hello Perry, my better half and my better half and not my golf decide whether I get new golf. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm lucky the fact that I get delivered stuff because if I had to buy stuff, I think I would be down very so much your route. I have enough golf stuff. I don't think the wife would like it if I continue to buy more. Driving Range King, hello Driving Range King, hope you're well and glad you have along. But is it worth upgrading from my Ping S55s? Now that is a really good point because obviously you're talking S55s are not brand new. Very, very soon, guys, I've got the Blueprint S iron review coming out. And for Driving Range King S55, you really want to be looking at that video. So the Blueprint S coming is a very nice golf club. It's replacing the i59. i59 is gone and the Blueprint S is replacing it. So all that LumiCore and stuff that we had in i59 has now been obviously retired, and we are back to standard. Oh, I want to say what it's called now. I can't remember what kind of steel it is. Someone says something, I'll remember it, but it's 8620. I don't know if it is 8620 now, I don't know. It's a nice forged steel and it's lovely and it's fairly forgiving for what it is. I would say it is a nice, excuse me, it's a nice upgrade from i59. Feel wise, absolutely. Performance wise, are you going to notice that much difference? Possibly not. But you are going to have the blending potential with Blueprint T, which is their new version of the old Blueprint. Blueprint S, which is i59, and also i230. I could see people within the Ping world going absolutely mental over this new Blueprint and i230 blending opportunity. Ping are really doing, because let's be honest, years ago, Ping never really was a player's option. They done a lot for on the G range and stuff like that. They did a lot of stuff like that, but they never really catered for the player. Now, yeah, they're doing well. Only thing they can do, I think, better is their driving iron, their UDI, their kind of a long iron, direct long iron replacement, kind of that kind of golf club. Their hybrids are great, fairways are great, drivers are amazing. The 10K Max driver is coming out the same day as well. Very, very good as well. Right, so Ed, hello, Ed Gamble, a 7-iron 225 on a 6-iron shaft, acting as 6-iron in a 2-2-1 set will have a different swing weight. It will do, but as soon as you ask them to build it that way, they will build it. So you're not doing this in your garage, right? So Ed, I severely would suggest that if anyone wants to do this, they do it properly. They do not start hacking away at their set and decide it'd be a good idea to get some epoxy out and glue certain things. No, just let the guys, if you're going to get fit properly, understand what you need, and then obviously have everything set the right way. But yeah. Charlie says, 8.7 handicap, currently gaming 919 tours. Would you recommend 243s throughout, or could I game 241s in the shorter irons? Charlie, if you haven't tried the 923 tours yet, I know we're talking 919 to 921 to 923 tours. The 923 tours are just lovely. They are slightly more forgiving than 241s, being the smallest cavity on earth, but it is slightly more forgiving than a 221 off the toe. And the way that the new 241 is like that, the meat is right in the middle. I don't think there's going to be much help around the outsides. I could be wrong. I might be wrong anyway, because on the basis of what I've already done with 245, and it's got to be that tungsten in there, that strip of tungsten which goes the entire, like, it's just blooming funny for a player's iron. I was surprised. Albert says, I bought a set of 245s from Japan a few months back, sorry. Looking forward to a review. Don't apologize, Albert. There were many people, as soon as they were released, everyone raced to try to get to the Google Translate button so we could work out what's inside these heads. And again, all of the information, or near enough all the information, has already been shown to the world from Asia already. So it's not going to be a shock, put it this way. The biggest issue from Mizuno's point of view, and it was a logistics problem, was the fact that they're not going to have any media samples supplied to any of the YouTubers on embargo day. I mean, normally, on the 2.2 series, 221, 223, 225, I got them back end of November. So I had all of December to create the content that I needed for it, and then to be released in January. We're in the same situation now, same within reason, same embargo date, but no media samples. So that's why I'm having to use fitting heads. Now, fitting heads, actually, there is advantage, obviously, because that means I can use the same shaft. So we don't get in this concept issue of saying, well, again, I'm not shaft sensitive, so it makes no difference to me anyway. But for the people that haven't watched me before and all that lot, it's just so much easier just to use the same shaft because it just shuts people up. It does. Brett says, hello Brett, as I am listening to this, I am getting bombed with advertisements from the new McGregor irons. I wonder if you will test these. Love my JPX 923 Hot Metal Pros, by the way. If McGregor want to send me some to test, I will give them the same scrutiny test that I always do with every single thing. And if it's good, I will say, and if it's a bunch of useless, not very good, I will also say that too. But I'll do it in a way which is constructive, and I won't just say they're useless. Most golf clubs, what you'll find is they work really well out the middle. There is not many golf clubs which do not work out the middle. The only one that doesn't work as well out the middle as it should do, and it is a crafty bit of technical tomfoolery, is the Stealth HDs from TaylorMade. They are not as springy out the middle as they could be, because it automatically they've made the outsides as spring as they can do. They're basic within reason hybrid heads, but they've slowed the middle down. Now that's not official, and I apologise if to anyone from TaylorMade who's saying that's not right, we haven't done that, but that's every single time I test the HDs, that is what I find, is the fact that the middle is not as springy as it should be, technically, for its construction and its loft, because it then makes the outsides obviously springier relative to the middle, which means as soon as you don't hit the middle, you hit outside, because you naturally get a drop off anyway. They within reason have the same efficiency. The HDs are brilliant for keeping efficiency with any way you hit it, doesn't matter. But it does come from a point of where the middle isn't as fast as it could be. Okay, the HD is made for a completely different type of golfer than what we're talking about, 241s and 245s and 243s. Even these guys, you are going to have to, especially 241 in my hands, you're going to have to hit these relatively close to the middle. Hybrid heads are made for different golfers. Any word on, this is Slytown, so hello Slytown, any word on new JPX Tour? I'm guessing they are dropping the Tour soon. No, JPX 923 Tour is a part of the set, and it will be until at least the 925 Tour, whenever that will be. Probably guessing 2025. But yeah. Right, mine, sorry I'm late in the main event. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. That's all right, there's no worries. Carl says, managed to get a brand new set of Cobra King Tour Mims for $329. Have you ever tested those, Jay? Not hit them yet, only arrived today. Not the Mims, no I haven't. I would be surprised if there's much difference actually between them. Generally speaking, you're talking, it has to be something miraculous for a manufacturer in one iteration to do a massive jump. And it's only potentially because the previous one was crap. And so, because that doesn't happen much anymore, because most manufacturers make very good stuff, you don't have that what moment. It's more of a last year's model to this year's model is a slight iterational change where there's a performance boost, not jump, boost, and a forgiveness boost, not jump. You get exceptions, of course you do, but within reason. There you go. Leonel Alguila, I should know, that sounds like a Spanish name. I could be wrong again. I've spent sort of 4 days or so in Valencia. I think I should be better at saying things like that now, but I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. 923 Forge, where to blend and with what? Struggle hitting 6 and 5 iron. Well, you could quite easily go to something like a Hot Metal Pro in the 6 and 5, just do a bit of bendy. You've got room to bend the HMPs or even the hot metals. You can even bend a hot metal, or if you're really struggling, you could actually bend 1 degree strong a HL. Now a HL is considerably larger than a 923 Forge, but if you are struggling with strike and results from a 6 and 5, going to a HL will make the world of difference. So it all depends. Obviously, if you want something which is going to be easy to hit and just as nice looking, you're kind of bending the rules of physics there, because of one hand giveth the other kind of froze back someone else. it's a bit of a, yeah, you don't get one or the other. But if you can kind of get over the differences in looks, no different. I go to a hybrid. After a 5-iron, I go to a hybrid. Now, a hybrid is much bigger than a straight bladed face loveliness of a blade. But at one point, you have to remember you've got to go from one all the way to a driver. Driver's massive. So it's just trying to get this, yeah. GolfNut says, have I got more stuff now that you asked? Just got a 2-wood PXG Gen 6 and a 3 hybrid TaylorMade HD ordered. Some PXG balls and some Callaway ERC yellow balls and a nice new grit golf bag. Yep, I did ask. Your family's gonna... You must have either the biggest house on the planet or a very, very full lockup. Barry says, is that time so catch Monday show? It's that time so catch Monday show. Yeah, it's that time. However, it's it's Wednesday. Now, the reason why I didn't do it Monday was oh, I just got some. Yeah, I just got to keep an eye. So my phone has just gone off, and the reason I'm just trying to keep an eye on the World Darts that has been playing at Alexander Palace in the UK, and there is a child playing. That shouldn't be, that's a bit rude. Luke Littler, I think his name is, and he's 16, and he's in the final of the World's Darts Championship. He has knocked out some very, very good darts players, and he. My dad is just in awe of watching him. So that I'm just keeping an eye on what's going on. It just popped up on the notifications. It's just so I can obviously converse with my dad. That's the whole idea of doing that. Min says, everyone, let's push the like button. That's a great idea. Min, you've got a point. Go on, guys. What do they say? Smash that like button. Smash it. No, just a click will be suffice and it'll be fine. I don't understand when people are saying smash the like button. Go on, smash it. Smash it, I told. No, yeah. Just click it, it's fine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Wheatbix, not Weetabix, Wheatbix 1000. I love the look of those Mizuno heads, but they aren't for me. I'm a hacker and recently got 11 hybrids based on, oh, hang on a minute, based in large part of your review. Do you see blades surviving long term? Yeah. I hope they do, because I'm going to be using them. So they will. Blades will always be there because there is a call for the market. Now the market is possibly reducing as time goes on. But if you can imagine, when Mizuno, and this is like the daft nature of it, the G, their driver, the G driver, a blooming good driver, but it's made for like 1% of the golfing world. Whilst they are still making a driver and putting all the R&D and the cost of making a driver when they're just going to probably sell as many drivers to break even on the blooming thing, they're definitely going to be designing and doing blade. I mean, let's face it. I mean, apart from aesthetics and stuff like that, it's not that difficult to design a blade on the basis of, well, you haven't got to put anything in it. Just literally pour it. Well, not pour it, you stamp it. Pour into a different thing, that's cast. So I swore just then. Carl says, not old enough to vote, drive or get married, so he's defo a child. Just a bloody good one. Yeah, he is. He's been playing darts since he was 18 months, and then, wow, yeah. GolfNut says 16-year-old, wow, there's a talent, well done. Yeah, and he's got a 21-year-old girlfriend as well. Apparently, if you Google Luke Littler, if you see him, he's got like a full-on beard at 16. He says he could, he was growing beard at 14. Yeah, anyway. So, mine's I expect Luke will get blown away in the final, but I'd love to be wrong. I really hope he wins. I really hope he wins. Is it Humphreys or something? I don't really know, I'll be honest. I was talking to my dad about it today because my dad loves it, and obviously try and make sure I converse with him about certain topics and stuff. I'm just trying to keep abreast of what's going on. I'd love it if he won. I mean, what a story with that. He would then follow the whole idea of like Boris Becker at 18 winning Wimbledon or whenever it was. You've had other things in tennis, in the ladies when they were really, really young. You've got like Max Verstappen in F1 being very young when he won, and it's, yeah, 16. And he will be still 16, of course, when he obviously goes on for X amount of months. I know some people have started in the tournament as, say, a 17-year-old and then gone to be 18 by the time they'd won it and stuff. But no, he will still be 16 if he wins. Golf Addict, he looks nearly 40. Yes, he does. Well, I spoke to the missus and I sort of said, look, this is Luke Littler and he's 16. What? No way. He does not look 16. It's one of those ones where if you look at him and you go, oh yeah, that's the darts player, and then until you say he's 16, you're like, what? Can't be. Yeah, he is. So good luck for Luke Littler, anyway, on the golfing side of things. Right. There, my throat still. Oh, YouTube drink. So, okay, I'm going to give everyone a carte blanche to just literally put down what you want. You put down there, and I will answer. What's time? So we're going just about an hour. Just keep an eye on time, etc. Now, up to you. I can always, for the guys that have been watching, no, there was a, should we call it a technical issue? We'll call it out of fix your this and fix your that. There was so much out there. When it comes to the decision making and also the strategy side, the shots gained, the understanding of percentage play and stuff like that, there's nothing really out there. Why? Because it's boring. As a general rule, it's boring. And so to do it in a way to make it a little bit more fun, I've done it in a competition-based idea, and the winner wins a custom fit set of irons from either sub 70 or 11 golf. That is the plan. Now, of course, I'm a little bit late doing it because of technical problems, but we're back at it now. So I can either do the from stats to strokes now, or I can do it at a different time. I will, as in say tomorrow or something. I'll leave it up to you guys if you want it to do now, or we can continue the chat about Mizuno. So, square root of 77,392. Wow. It's gonna be good. $87, $86. What is that? 7,000, what? 392 square root 86. Come on. Well, it wasn't 86. 85.976. I do that a lot. Right. Kyle, that's the only one I'm doing. Mark says, hello Mark. Hi Jay, have you seen the new Pro 241 Masters limited editions irons, best looking irons ever? That is subjective, and that's the great thing with aesthetics. We all like different things. I'm not a great fan of them. It's just, I thought the 221 blues that came out were nice, but I didn't really like them that much. The MP20, the copper-headed ones, just the pure copper heads, no other finish, just the copper, were lovely, and I got myself a set of them, or head only. I haven't put shafts in them; they're just head only. I'm gonna try and get a bag, a Masters tour bag, the green one, obviously, because I think it would look really cool. Good on camera and stuff like that. I think it would be really good. But yeah, George is in the house. Hello, George. Lefty, 9 handicap, playing Apex circa 2013, with then new recoil shafts. Hoping 245 could be my next iron. It is available in lefty. My tendency is to hit irons thin. How will the new 245 play for a thin hitting sweeper? Can I get away with showing something? Yeah, I can possibly get away with that. So, this is from my data set today. Now, this is not doing performance because, again, performance I'm not going to show you the best, and so this is no measure whatsoever against anything. I'm just skirting the lines here, people. I'm just trying to make sure I get, yeah. So is this the one I want to look at? Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of that one. So I'm just going to flick over here. There you go. That's a date. That's a piece of data I've done today. Now I've done the 245. I've been capturing data for it at different swing speeds, how well from different misses and stuff like that. So that is a standardized miss. 8mm low is a standardized miss on the face. That is a thin. I've also got one at 13mm as low, or 11mm low. I can't remember. Obviously double digits low. Let me just. I want to sort of. I'll click off it. There we go. Guys, when we talk about misses, that's a 245, yeah? Those dots depict where the middle of the strike point of a ball will be relative to the club being on the ground, the ball being on the ground, and the ball obviously having a curving surface. So because of the curving surface and the curving with loft, you're always going to be hitting under the equator. Yeah, so there is a calculation. I won't bore you with it. That's why the dots are lower than what Foresight say they should be. Done a video about that one. Which way? There, that way. There you go. And if you imagine 8mm low from those dots are very low on the face. So you don't have to go low on the face much to get a thin. Excuse me. Whoa, there we go. Now, if I go back to that miss again, that was a miss, 26 degrees of loft. That's what I was, generally speaking, delivering within a very short amount, 25 point something degrees. So yeah, within reason. Face is 1 degree open, 1.33 efficiency. That's still going 29 yards in the air and 45 degrees descent angle from a miss on the face, 8mm low. That, everything says, obviously go lower. That is blooming good at a club speed, a reduced club speed of 81 miles an hour. It is very, very good. And without sort of doing too much on it, obviously because I'm not allowed to, these new Mizuno Pro irons, that is a definite upgrade to a 225, especially for low strikes. Right, let's go back onto here. Mark says, Martina Hingis won a Grand Slam at 16. That is going to be another version of exactly that. Golf Addict says, actually debating on a set of Tacoma irons, like my shiny stuff too. Which ones would you think about getting? Mine's I have to go. Night everyone. Night everyone. I will, Robert, I will need to speak to you anyway, obviously, because, well, Instagram. We'll do that through Instagram. Don says Verstappen was 18 years, 225 days when he won the Spanish GP in 2016. Yes. Now that is just a race. No, say just a race. That's one heck of an achievement. Of course it is. But this Luke Littler guy potentially might be winning the World Championship. That is something completely different than just one race. Kyle, Rain Man. Mark Dennis, have you done a video on grip sizes? If not, is it something you'd think about as this one of the weakest areas of custom fitting? You can try 1 million shafts, but next to no grips. Yes, because grip is a very interesting issue because it's not something that you can literally just pop on, pop off, pop on, pop off and test because of the, well, you can if you've got a, like an airline and you can blow them off and put them back on again, you can do that. However, there is no such thing as logic when it comes to grips. The old adage of if you have a grip, too thin a grip, you can over-release it, it goes left or right in a golfer. And if you have a too thick a grip, you can, lack of release, and it can go right. Or if you're all of these different things you can say, it's an utter bunch of rubbish because as soon as you put the human in it, everything goes wonky. And it just doesn't work out the way it needs to. So if there was an actual like pattern of saying one thing leads to another, then you can. With grip, it is so individual. that you would have to test. And this is the thing when it comes to grip. A grip is still the most underused part of custom fitting, because you have to test with the individual. Now, I would always say this, guys, if you can test, if you can do your custom fitting with your coach who knows about how you deliver and stuff like that, then yes. But it is something that, generally speaking, no, you can't test. It is a bit of a pain, and a lot of golfers go through a pattern and a period of exploratory searching for exactly what they want feel-wise and stuff like that, because some people are affected by release patterns and some people are completely opposite to release patterns. It's just a minefield. Croaky. Excuse me. Carl said was playing some C-Taper X130s. Oh, big boy. Last week. The weight really helped, played very well. Strike was excellent until the 15th when I started getting tired. Is there a similar lighter shaft, or visit the gym? Visit the gym, Carl. The C-Taper 130 is a Goliath under the DNA system. If you've got someone who's very, very quick, aggressive, and just loads of shaft, something mental, CTX is going to be on there. It always is. It is a scaffold pole of a shaft. A very, very good shaft. Love the shaft. Myself, I do like the shaft myself. It's as stable as heck. Just you have to be a beast to play it. Well, you know you don't. It's just that you have to play. You have to play at a certain level that enables you to continue to play all the way through and not get tired. And so it's one of those ones where go down the gym. But yeah. Neil says weight of the grips does matter, though. It does, because obviously it changes swing weight, etc. But again, that can be counteracted depending on who's setting up the golf clubs, etc. So bigger grip with a higher weight could impact the way it plays. Definitely will do. If you just change the grip and do not change the swing weight dynamics, or counter the swing weight dynamics of the different grip, then yeah, it will definitely change how it plays. The problem is humans react in so many different ways and there is no pattern to the way they react. All we can say is if you did something, there would be a change, but we don't know what that change will be, because you can put that same change with 10 people and you'll get 10 different results, because they all react a different way. So you have to test with the individual, and it will be something as daft as, okay, we've got a custom fit set of golf clubs. I think I'm doing really well, but I've got a system this or whatever it be. Can we just test if I would just put a new grip of a different this or a different weight or a different thickness or whatever it be, different construction, reduced taper, any different grip of many different varieties, to see what the difference over a certain period of time is, and if it's something that I want to migrate to, that or not, or revert back to. You do it with one and you haven't got too much of a problem, and you do it one grip at a time. If you do two grips at a time of two different, you're reacting to two different things, and it's like the classic thing if you're trying to find out, you've got all these switches, light is off, you close your eyes and you flick 3 switches on, and you open your eyes and the light is on. You go, okay, that's good. So one of these three switches turns the light on, but which one was it? Because we've switched 3, not one at a time. So it's that kind of classic thing. Adrian says, I'm much happier with a thicker grip, MMC +4 mid-size. Now that is a big boy. I've got, on my clubs, I've got +4s. They're tall velvet +4s. I don't like the MCCs because I don't like the roughness of the top hand, but yeah. Mid-size and the feel for me is so much better. Restriction ZX5. ZX5s are a blooming good set of irons. Golf Addict, so I went for a regular grip size to a mid-size, and being a godsend, we'll never go back to regular. Again, that's exactly what we're talking about. It's the self-explanatory, self-exploration. There we go. Can't get my worms out. And the fact that people need to do that. You can have the best custom fit in the world, but because you can't test grip unless you can blow the grips off and undo, but it's going to take forever to do that. So you need, unfortunately, if you've got a grip issue and you're trying to search for a certain different feel or certain different release pattern or something different, rather than looking at a swing change, okay, if it's fairly minor, then grip, yes. If it's major, swing. But you've got that option. But unfortunately, there is one of those ones. If you say, well, I want something that's going to help me do this, we can say, right, let's treat you as stereotypical. Let's sort of, as like what the myth privilege. We'll do this with your grip, not knowing in any way, shape, or form it's going to work or not. It could work the opposite way around. But that's the first thing to test. Test if you are reactive to a grip change over a period of time, not just on 1 or 2 or 3 hits, over a passage of however long, and map them objectively. Either you do it objectively or you get someone else to objectively map what you're doing, measure what you're doing with the results, and then yeah, you can make a decision that way. So Ted says, Ted, I said I tried mid-size grips on one of my iron sets and it was not good. More dispersion left and right, front and rear, so I had them re-gripped with standard grips. Yeah, I mean, we had this conversation, Ted, wouldn't we, about those? And that's the thing, you don't know. There is no such thing, and it is a myth to say that if you have grips, like the smaller grips, you can over-release it and it will go left for a right-handed golfer, and then they're classic the opposite way. It just won't. You cannot say that, and this is my problem that I have with a lot of stuff that gets put out on the internet, on YouTube, that people turn around and say, do this and fix your this. You don't, I tell you what, if they are honestly putting that content out there because they honestly think that if people did what they're saying, that it would absolutely fix every single person's this, then they live in a dream world, and at best that's ignorance. At worst, they know full well that what they're putting out there is not going to affect everybody the way they're saying that it will do, and it's effectively a little bit deceptive. Right, so Ted says shows it's all individual, as you say, Jay. Yeah, and it is, unfortunately, and you have to go through that process of self-exploration before you work out which one you are and how you react to certain things. And then if you went to a slightly thinner grip, then it may or may not have a different, but there's always going to be like a Goldilocks zone. And mine is with a +4. I mean, I've tested many different grips over time, and I've moved around from big and small, custom grips where I've built tapes around underneath to sort of just, I don't know, mess around a little bit and see how it works over time. So, oh no, Carl's just gone, oh no, I only go to the gym to use the vending machine. That's like that great joke, isn't it? What's your favourite machine at the gym? The vending. A YouTube drink. But yeah, so 243. I'm looking forward to testing 243 because when it comes to 223, I can remember because it was in the Modus Pro 115X, I think it was. It might have been Stiff or X, I can't remember. It's the only shaft in my entire life which I have had an adverse reaction to. And unfortunately, because I didn't have time to sort my head out, the embargo obviously date come before I had managed to sort my problems out with that shaft, since no problem whatsoever, and I just swing the 223 is no different to anything else. It was just, I don't know what. It could have literally just been a case of, because of pressure, trying to get content made, etc., with time constraints, etc., that you have a bad day, because everyone has a bad day. I have time sometimes where I'm ready to make content and I can't hit a barn door. It's not that bad, but you know, you have days where you think like, today is not a productive time for me to film. I'm going to be spending so much time filming something that I might as well just edit today and then wake up tomorrow will be a different day. And it is, and it's no different. We all play golf like that. Why do we sometimes play golf and it just feels so easy, well, relatively easy, and then other days you can absolutely have a mare and there's no logic whatsoever. You haven't changed a swing halfway through the night. It's just what it is. But no, the 243, I'm looking forward to hitting this one. This has got obviously quite a bit of change to it. Yes, it does look like a 225. 225. MP25. Where is that? It's that thing when you move something you really wish you hadn't moved it. Where have I moved that to? That's not it. See? That's what happens when you're moving stuff around. I had the MP25 today. Where is it? Hello, MP25. That's going to irritate me if I can't find that now, because it is round here somewhere. Poo sticks. Hate it when I can't find something. It's round here anyway. But it does look very, very similar to an MP25. MP25 obviously had boron in it, and this one has not got boron. This has got copper underlay, and it is also forged chromoly 4120 or 40, yeah, something like that. So it is different to the MP25 anyway, but it has got micro slot, and MP25, excuse me, Willy Pops, had certain parts of technology. So it's not the same as the MP25. Before people turn around and say Mizuno have just reinvented the MP25, they haven't. They are a similar design, but again, guys, when it comes to designs of golf clubs, let's be honest, there's only so amount of time that you can make a golf club or do something different and it looks different. And so there will always, there's going to be times in every manufacturer's change of models that something is going to have a similar look to something that was possibly done 30 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever it will be. When you look under the hood of what's inside the 243 compared to the MP25, is a completely different beast. And if you look at years ago, when it comes to the MP25, etc., really good out the middle. And I would say there's not going to be much difference really between the MP25 and the new 243 out the middle. Will there be a benefit of a 243? Will it be faster off the face, loft for loft? Absolutely will do. It will only be a 1.5, maybe 2 miles an hour ball speed, loft for loft. Benefit on the 243, so not a lot. What the big difference will be is when you start whacking a, say, an MP25 all over the face as compared to a 243 all over the face, the difference that you're going to get in retention of ball speed, the benefit of a 243 over an MP25 isn't, well, I was going to say immeasurable. It's not immeasurable. Of course you can measure it, but effectively it's going to be, yeah, there's the difference more that you'll find. Carl says, oh no, I only go to the gym, use the vending, oh, I don't know, we're not ready. Got to run, Jay, be safe and well. Have a something great 2024, time for more shopping. Oh, no, it's nice to have you along, and thank you very much for being a member. Ted says the similarity of designs may partly due to nostalgia. I love an early design. Yeah, too right. And no different if you go, that looks like an MP25, obviously completely different to an MP25, but looks like an MP25. If you go down to a 241, well, now that looks like an MP5, which was around at the same time as an MP25 within reason. And arguably the MP5 was the nicest iron Mizuno have ever made for me, for what I like. The MP5 was possibly the best ever. Very, very, just lovely. MP4, but MP5 was a bit stubbier, and look, it looks just a, yeah, nice package. But that is, so that's what I'm going to do. I will run the compare video, which will go out on the Monday, 2 p.m, Monday the 8th, 2 p.m, as long as I can get it done. And I will be doing a comparison as such, an overview, preview of 241. I will go through what it looks like, what's inside it. Not much, won't take long, give it a few hits, job done. And then I'll go 243. Here you go, this is the new 243. This is why it changed from the 223 to 243, but it's obviously a not full-on comparison video. It will literally just be, look, there it goes. Give it a hit a few times, that's how it looks and feels. And then when it comes to the 245, I will do the exact same thing afterwards. I'll just go, this is what it looks like, this is how it hits, this is how it feels, and this is what kind of golfer it's going to be for. Won't be doing any kind of forgiveness testing on that comparison as such review, that preview as such for all of those. That's going to be for the full-on reviews, the singular reviews of 241, 243, 245, and I'll do the full-on, because if I did full-on on that, the video would be forever, and so that can be seen afterwards. But I'll do that one first on the Monday. I'll then do 245 on the Tuesday, release the 243 on the Wednesday, and the 241 on the Thursday. So we'll have a week of Mizuno, and then when hopefully my media samples arrive, whenever that will be, I'll have the fly high to do, That will be released already, and of course, whether people will do it or not, I don't know. And then I'll also do the comparison, because I'll have my media set and I can then compare them with 579, 579, 579, whatever, between obviously 245 and 225, 243, 243, you know, 223, and 4525, 2141. Singular, individual, and I'll do comparative mishits and stuff like that. That's the whole idea. But I can do 4 videos with the fitting heads. Again, that is the whole idea. I'm gonna ask, no point. So, anyone else want to say anything else before I decide to call it a day? What I will do, guys, I will do a live stream possibly tomorrow. Cody's back, hello. Going back another generation, was the MP20 HMB much different to the Pro 225 in terms of saving money on a prior generation 225 when these drop? Okay, HMB and 225, there was a small increment. I wouldn't have bothered buying a 225 if you already had an MP20 HMB. Okay, if you've got a HMB and you're going to think about 245, there might be a good enough reason to test for the upgrade. However, if you're looking obviously from a point of view of saving money, you're not going to be spending the money that you're going to need to spend on 245s. And I won't lie, guys, these are not cheap. I am honest again, and these have to be a justified expenditure. No golf clubs are getting cheaper. So if you're going to have to think about buying golf clubs in the next couple of years or whatever, they are not getting cheaper. They won't. And so you wait 2 years and they're going to be, the next ones, the 2.6 ones or whatever it will be, and possibly quite some margin, because all manufacturers are doing the exact same things. Everyone is pushing cost of things up and up and up. So yeah, that's the only justification. But from your point of view, if you've got a set of HMBs and you're looking at possibly upgrading to save some, and obviously saving money, because the 245s will come out and the 225s that are going to be around will be less, which they will be. Not a great deal less, but there will be. I wouldn't bother. We're talking about an incremental difference in the 225 over the HMB. It's not a huge amount. Yeah, there was difference. Yes, there is. There is a bigger difference between the HMB and the 245, and that is definitely worth a test, but you're talking about a completely different cost. Now, in 2 years' time, when your HMBs are even older and the 245's now being replaced by 265, or whatever they're going to be called, then I would definitely say, yeah, there would be worthwhile upgrading. Cody says, thank you, sir. Trying to save my wallet, give the 10 plus second-hand sets I already have and need to sell. Well, yeah, in that case, if you can sell those 10 plus second-hand sets and your HMBs to pay for a brand new set of 245s, then I would say that that is a point of doing, and it would be a good idea. One thing I would like to say before I go would be that, well, there's 2 things actually. One, if you want to, if you haven't subscribed already, again, you can watch this if you're a subscriber or you're just freely cycling through YouTube. If you like what you see, by all means get down there, hit the subscribe button, and also the bell icon as well. Obviously, I've got the Mizuno Pro lines. I've got Callaway. I've still got to do. That'll be late. That won't be on the same embargo day, but I've obviously been busy. Ping, I've got the 10K and the Blueprint S, so the Ping 10K Max driver and the Blueprint S videos to release very, very soon. I've got the Cobra Dark Speed irons and the Dark Speed driver and stuff, which has still got to come. I've got to sort that out. But that's because the Dark Speed irons are ready to go and they'll be uploaded on embargo day. So there's still loads and loads of stuff that's going to be coming on the channel, and then normal compares and everything that's going to be coming, because it's crazy time when it comes to releases. And so make sure you're down there, subscribe, etc., and get the bell icon on so you're notified whenever I release one. And also for the From Stats to Strokes series, guys, I will do a live stream tomorrow then. I'll do one tomorrow afternoon. I'm trying to obviously get as much done filming wise as I can do for this video, because I'm under time constraints now to obviously get all of these done. I've got to get 4 videos done ready, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a time. But the plan will be to get a quick live stream tomorrow afternoon, about 3 o'clock or so, maybe a bit early, maybe a bit later, to do the results of, I've got them already. I could do them now, but if not, it's already done an hour and a half already, so I won't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. We've got the stats for strokes to do tomorrow, and then I'll set a question probably the day after, and then again, give you 3 days or so. Now, I did over Christmas, I did post something before Christmas, said, look, you guys have got until this sort of time. After this time, I will not be taking any extra answers. However, it is Christmas and it's a season of goodwill, etc. And so there were people that replied, put their answers to the question in after the deadline. I have included them now. I will not add in any more, so please don't answer the previous question with any other, because I've already done all the work to get all the leaderboards. I have got the leaderboard already and I could show it, but I'm not going to, because I'll do that in the answer. I will say that Ice Tray was one of the very late arrivals when it comes to his answer, and if he hadn't have done, he would have definitely had his top spot taken off. And this is where it is when it comes to the Stats to Strokes competition to win yourself a custom fit set of irons from 11 Golf 4 Sub 70, that you got to make sure that you stay tuned and answer every single one, because you won't have to score really well in every single one. You just have to be you have to be consistent all the way through. There are people that have got 5 points, as in top marks, in 2 rounds, and then they've missed 2 other rounds and they're just going down the leaderboard. They've scored top marks in everything that they've, yeah, so that's the whole idea. So just keep on looking out for the updates, etc. But I should be going live tomorrow afternoon anyway, so if you want to get involved in that one, by all means, I will be doing the answers video to that, so it'll be a bit of fun. Right, guys, I don't see any other questions popping on there, so unless you have anything at the end, by all means, go on. Pop it on there very, very quickly before we say goodbye. Last call, last call for questions. I'm quite happy to. I'll give you sort of like a minute or so to rapidly type, and I'll quite happily give you an answer. I did like earlier on though, I did like the fact that, was it Kyle tried to get me with what was the square root of 7,392 or whatever, and I'm going to look at that on replay, because I can't believe I basically nailed it in the head. What a guess. Okay, so Niels, you're still on. I just want to ask a very, very quick question. Everyone else ignore. It's a bit of a techie one, so Niels, you can sort of reply to this one. It's just quicker for me to say it than it is for email it. Obviously, the fact that I'm thinking about going multiple 10 gig cards and machines. Obviously, got a 10 gig card in this one, and also going to have a 10 gig in the new server, my new storage attached server kind of idea. If I'm going to go 10 gig switch though, because a lot of 10 gig switches are RJ45 socket, not SPF plus. You can go get the transceivers from SPF plus to RJ45 for the cable, but then obviously we're talking about those transceivers are quite expensive to do every single one, moving it from RJ45, because obviously I've got cables, etc. I mean, yeah. Would it be easier, because RJ45 cable is quite easy and cheap to get, and obviously you've got the switches that are 10 gig with RJ45s, would it be easier and cheaper to just buy a couple of 10 gig NICs? So dump the one that I've already got and the one that I've bought. I mean, that's obviously not really that expensive, but dump them for RJ45 10 gig NICs instead. They're slightly more expensive, but obviously it's then RJ45 to RJ45, click, 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 no problem. Cody says, quick follow-up on 765 versus MP20. Okay, yeah, so dump the NICs with, I've got like the Solar Flare SNF 7120, which is SPF plus, and then go for something with, yeah, okay, cool. Quick follow-up on 765, which is quite an old one now, versus MP20 HMB, given same shaft and lofts, which would you say are friendlier to play? Wow, that would be an interesting one, because I couldn't honestly say, because I can't remember enough of the 765. I've used the 765 and I've mapped the HMB quite well, and I could tell you, but I can't say what the 765, because I haven't mapped it. I've used it, hit it quite a few times, but I never mapped it like I did the HMB, so I cannot say without guessing. I can guess, but I don't want to do that. I'm struggling to hop on the hollow body wagon. This is the problem. Now, I will say this already, that the 245, I can feel that it's hollow. It does feel to me slightly more hollow than 225. I need to hit 225 with it, and 245, 225, 245, and see if it's just me. But you go to 241 or 245, there is a distinct difference. Whether that people really care about it or not, but then that's the whole idea of review, so you can tell what the differences are or not. So if I was, what would I do? I understand your point. I mean, if I was going to go 241 and then move into something, I would struggle to go 245 because there was too much of an acoustic jump. Would the Project X shaft make them feel different, pal? No, not really. I mean, you're talking resonance from the head. The resonance from the head is by far the biggest. You do get shock from the shaft, but you mainly get shock from the shaft from a very, very off-center hit. That's the time. So like thin, that's wonderful. When you get one of those, you get like a properly good, and then obviously you hit high in the face, you can have the ground interaction, which is going to be interfering with any kind of feel. Hit toe or heel, you get twist around the shaft axis, but again, you're talking that. The main thing is low on the face, you get the fuzzy fingers, etc. It's more so the acoustic frequency of the head. That is the most important thing, the acoustic frequency of the head for feel. And so the shaft can make a small difference, especially graphite. You can have a graphite which has the effect of dampening, definitely. Steel doesn't necessarily dampen, so it doesn't really matter what kind of steel you have on there. There'll be nuances difference, but it'll be so nuanced, your ear won't really be picking much up whatsoever. It's all down to the head. For the shaft to make any perceivable difference, you have to go graphite, which the thing is, if you're sensitive to shaft bend profile, the fact that you're using something like graphite and you're nowhere near needing graphite, that will be the biggest denominator in why you feel something, rather than obviously the vibration of the frequency of the head, if that makes sense. So also have a set of MP5s, but they may be out of my playing capability. They may be out of my playing capability. That depends. I would honestly tell you what, Cody, if you can, go take your 765s. And obviously loft adjusted and stuff like this is a little bit difficult, but you have to sort of like, okay, I'm going to hit a 7 iron, or I'm going to hit an 8 iron of one or the other, whatever it be, and see how you're going to do it. It might be closer doing it 7-7 or 8-7 or something like that. And then map them. Map what the differences are. If you can, as you get on quad, you can see the differences in your strikes. Obviously quad can read strike to the millimeter, or 0.1 of a millimeter, but yeah. Then you'll be able to do it properly rather than physically guessing. But Carl says, I have some TTs with VSS, but a bit of foam in the in the shaft. I couldn't tell any difference over the non-V. Again, this is the thing. I mean, we are talking very much so. The acoustics that you get is very much so from the resonance on the head. Now, these 241s resonate differently to the 245. You cannot help, that is a hollow body. Now, you can put harmonic impact technology inside the head to try and control its resonance. Yes, you can, but it will always resonate. Yeah, it will always resonate differently to the solid head. Now, obviously, this is not 1025E as well. This is 4135 chromoly, And so again, there's going to be a difference because it's a different metal. You can grain flow forge it. This is grain flow forge all the way from the hosel all the way to the end. That whole bit there is grain flow forged. The main body of this is grain flow forged. Yes, you're going to be putting on certain ones, you're going to put like a 431 stainless steel plate, or is it 43? I can't remember. But I think it's 431 stainless steel plate on the back, say of them, like the 9-iron and pitching wedge, etc. But effectively, the whole bit, which is important, which is the hosel all the way down into the toe, that is all forged, grain flow forged. Still, you have the resonance, and you can tell the difference between. Hang on. How did I do this beforehand? Yeah. Did that come through? I will do one more time. Carl says, and it is, can't help it. It is a hollow button. So when you're hitting something, it comes through as a higher pitch. Well, it comes through as harsher, comes through as crisper, comes through as whatever words you want to use to subjectify a feel. It's very, very difficult. But Carl says, so is the 9 and pitching wedge not hollow then? I tell you what. Right, shall I tell you? I tell you, right. 2 to 8 iron. Laser welded, grain flow forged, 4135 chromoly face and neck. 431 stainless steel back. So even in the 7 iron, you've got a grain flow forged body, yeah, and face in the chromoly 4135. So face and neck, everything, yeah. Then there's a 431 stainless steel back. The whole back is then stainless steel plate. You've got 47 grams of tungsten in it, and 8 iron has no tungsten for a smoother transition. The 9 to gap wedge is laser welded, partial holly bodied, and I will put this on the screen. It'll probably be allowed, I may or may not, I can't remember, but we'll do this so you can very, very quickly see. So the 2 to 8 iron is like that. So you can see you've got that, but then the 8 iron has no tungsten. And then the 9 to pitching wedge is made like that. That is still hollow bodied, but it's partial hollow construction. Yeah? The reason why they do the partial hollow construction, so you don't have a huge feel and performance difference through the whole thing. They do it for absolute seamlessness when it comes to how the technology works and obviously how your distances work, etc. Right, very quickly we have Cody saying yes, sounds very, have we got any more? Have we got any more? So no, we've done everything, that's good. Excuse me, YouTube Winnie Pops. Right, so unless anyone else has got anything to say, that's my little rundown about the new 243, 245, 241. So guys, make sure you get on the homepage, make sure you subscribe, and then also get the bell on as well, notification bell, so you know when these are coming along. And also for anyone who is still on and isn't a member, who wants to become a member, so you are part of the live streams where we go into more detail about certain things like this. Okay, the open all access one, guys, you have to wait every month, the first Monday as such normally, of every month to do. And it will be for the members out there, it'll be back to next Monday again, the Monday night clubhouse, and also the Monday clubhouse. It's Monday night here, but again, it's not Monday night when you're in America, but the Monday clubhouse, we can all get together and we'll chat about more stuff. Again, I suppose that will be embargo day for the Mizuno, and so we'll be chatting more and more about the results you're going to get from the day's release. And of course, very, very soon there will be the pings and then the cobras and stuff like that. So, right guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe and like the video if you can, because it's always good for YouTube algorithm and all that lot. I like it as well. And so, all being equal, Ted says, I'm no longer convinced graphite shafts are softer than steel. UST, Mamiya, TSPX darts, Mitsubishi MMTs feel a bit harsher than the PX LZs and Nippon 120s, in my opinion. The LZs and 120s are a very unique shaft. They've got a very, very weak second, third, from the butt downwards, bend profile, very, very weak in the second, third part, or 1/3 up from the tip. It does affect the feel, and it does affect launch, and it does affect the sound and all that lot, and works very much so like a great transitional golf club into graphite. And the interesting thing is, of the weight class that they are, they're 115, 120 or whatever they are. I think 115, I think it is for the LZs, and they're great. So the problem with shafts is that you can say they're this and say they're that, but you put it in a human's hands and everything completely changes. And so you can always say, there's this classic with the myths of golf, and there are billions of the blooming things, which are mostly wrong. And I can say them and say them and say them, but the problem is, if people are indoctrinated to believe a certain thing, it takes a while for people to want to be open to the fact that what they've been told necessarily isn't true. Because again, if people made their buying decisions based on certain things, people do not want to have their eyes open to the fact that they've been sold a dud, or if there's a reason why they can't do this or do that, it's actually because of this, because they've been sold something different. That's the whole idea of what I do anyway. So right guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much for everyone for joining in. I'll run this as the normal. So when it comes to turning this off, I won't worry about editing and stuff like that. I'll just post a copy of this to run through on the video as well, on the normal channel as well. So guys, it's been wonderful. It's been a pleasure as always. For the members, I will see you next Monday. And for the non-members, the ones in grey, if you want to obviously be a member, pop on the homepage. There's a join button, click on there. There's a list of different things you can have a look at your latest, guys, Adrian says, at your will. You can do that if you want to, and if not, we'll see you next, the first Monday of every month. And for the other guys, the members, we'll see you next Monday for another Monday Clubhouse. So enjoy. It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much for all your questions, and we'll see you all soon.